Hi, hi guys from United States, United Kingdom, and the other English countries. I just record the Italian video about my opinion on KDP. Italian I learned more Rosetta Stone and Winks a few years ago, I think 2 years ago. Oh, so my Italian is not so good as my English that I learned many years ago in practice. So about KDP. KDP is a platform to independent writers to publish their books, and you don't have to pay for it. The book is così in paperback. It costs for printing 2.15 dollars. There is debt from the price of the book. The price of the book. So you get 60% of the value, the price of the book, minus the 2.15 dollars for a 100-page books. If your book has more than 100 pages, it start to count by the number of the pages. Right. Quiz qui puedes doesn't have the name of the book because doesn't have more than 100 pages. One more than 100 pages, it gets the name here. You get to make the cover with cover design, and actually you can put your picture or lash blank, but I got the picture. And at this format and this other format with this and the other forms thing you choose. You can choose many pictures of uh, without copyright with the cover design. Actually, you can choose no picture when you use like a study book or something. You can go colors and sim, yes. Here in Brazil, I am Brazilian, right? And I write English. Actually, I learned English with Smallville and Sophia the First and many other things that came from United States. Just I like United States programs like High School Musical and many other cartoons and series on superheroes, and actually Harry Potter and many British series. So actually, English and many English songs. As you know, in my blog, I like Samar songs. I listen at the time she was singing in my high school, and actually English is part of my life for a long time. Well, about KDP. Actually, you get to the bank account name. Actually, I don't know how is in the United States. Okay, but here in Brazil, if you they ask to put a Brazilian account and a checking account to receive FT for a books any value. Actually, 1 cent they pay actually, and or a saving account. By saving account, you receive only when 100 reals. Actually, for the other countries, even the checking account only receives 10 United States dollars. And I read the uh, terms, and here in Brazil, I pay 30% taxes and I think 70 United dollars from Sam, and I pay the international transfer. I won't think you won't get many money away, but actually, if I don't pay for for publication, I think you worth it. And you can, after you receive the first payment, you can apply to a tax discount. Actually, they say that, but I didn't receive the first payment. I only received from Brazil ebooks at the time. But actually, about about my blog. I have a blog, and most of my books are Teosophy Spiritual. Question is big Teosophy. I talk. It's only English for fun. I talk about the anime. They seem like a Christ, seem like a esoteric Christ or a God, because some anime gospel. The examples do anime characters, good and evil, soldier, concepts. I think there's like a Gnostic Christ, cosmic Christ, the concept. When a Christ is not the Jesus himself, is a person who is perfect and saint and inspire others. I'll talk about Winsis Club, Regal Academy, Tsubasa Chronicles, Miracles, Flowering Heart. For you don't know, Flowering Heart is from Korea, né? Snezhnaya Koroleva is the Snow Queen from Rússia, né? Vicrada na Princesa Russland Ludmilla é The Stolen Princess. It's because I watch in original language. My book, this English, is fantasy, The Golden Forest first and second part. The first part is this because I thought at the time that they all. Oh, questa second part. It's more paragraphs, more few letters. And first part is this because one of the time I found all information on the same path, but this one I found different. I found because this I made first. I think Portuguese version was my first book. Is written since 2014, but I don't have to publish. I look at Amazon, but I didn't have a saving account at the time. And why I use do and ye? There's a little question. Yes, because when I learned English, I have a lot of problem when you came into first, second person or singular, but also came in was second person or plural, but also came in quarters pronoun like Vossa Excelência, like we get a lot confused. I asked the teacher and they say you get for another words. So actually I don't get it. But some people in the series like saying you guys to reinforce the second person plural. But I discovered on William Shakespeare, Romeo and Juliet, there's all pronouns do and yeah that do the job more easily. Oh, the problem is I search international thing. I don't have clear explanation how to conjugate, so I just get the main rule, the add st, like do can, you can, do can still st. But irregular one like Duarte, I pronounce do because I study German a little and it has do the du. I think that like English comes in German, a German language. I think it's this pronunciation. But when I was reading the German prayer, I first in my notebook I write do né? Because I deducing from German. Yeah, do bis in German, do bis in English is do art. Quindi there are some misconjugation like do shall we do LNS extra because I didn't know at the time. But actually, you can understand because the do is only for people who read know that is tu on português original and ye ou vós on português original, ou seja, singular and plural. Things don't get the wrong idea because I don't like quarters pronouns like you stay. I don't like choose. They get a lot confused conjugating the other person. I'm very confused. Actually, I have these multilingual books meant to surrender entirely to a young Virgin Mary. Actually, quindi these translations English, Italian, Spanish, and French because original one's Portuguese released separately. And actually, I talk about young Virgin Mary, is actually people forget it. The Virgin Mary who lived in the temple, yes, pure, stay outside, stay away from any impurity. Actually, before it gives to Joseph, actually they lived in the temple. And my most famous book, I think, the collection of praise to Sophia the Goddess. Sophia the Goddess and Gnostic myth, the wisdom, God of the wisdom. Like I like to study, I like the God of wisdom because it's a symbol of people who like to study. Actually, it's a good symbol. I read the Gospel of Sophia, the False Sophia, Apocryphal John, and many others tales. I think it's good. And many people believe that God Sophia is the wisdom, is same as Athena, same as Isis, same as Virgin Mary, many other things. Guyton window and spirituality, English, Francais, and this kind of why should I think of suicide, why should I not be afraid of what is called final judgments, why always forgive, I explain. And the truth about the unbreakable bond of marriage. Thus I make distinction in marriage in the law, marriage in the religion, and spiritual marriage that are concept that create to the unbreakable bond because the unbreakable bond are religion Marriage is the religion imposed, but I think it's not unbreakable because he can nullify the marriage in Catholic. And the law is a contract to divide patrimony, so it's break. But unbreakable bond is a spiritual one, the soulmate one. The marriage no don't need any formality. Is married by God everyone before they get born. Actually, this is French version, English French, and the other language. Actually, more about KDP. You have to do this all by yourself, or you can contract a person. But I've made it all by yourself because I like to all the process. This ESBN you get for free on Amazon, but you can only use on Amazon. And the page you have to look if you fit on the page. And actually, if there no blank page, on my first book I had blank page because I didn't know how to remove it. Now I know that you have to uh, 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 remove the page break. When the blank page is, you have to remove the page break. You can submit files in a pub, a PDF, and doc. You can show. You can use também our Kindle Create, but I prefer using Microsoft Word. It's similar because Microsoft Word they have to spelling correct in all the languages that I write. So when you write in many similar languages like Spanish, and Italian, Portuguese, and French, you get confusion about the orthography. When you type it, I actually have some typing Spanish and I type the Italian orthography. I'm a little confused. Actually, about my other language books. Different from the other Brazilian authors, I work about erudition. I try to give Brazilian literature the view that they have on the century, I think, old century, I think, 500 years ago, Brazil, Portuguese literature in Portuguese well vast erudition, but now they get books for the people, and the people at all don't like erudition. But I like to read the old ones like Manuel Mendes and Camões, and the people erudition. But in so actually, when my book about theosophy, when you talk about God, you use erudition because it's formally and you can talk. Actually, it comes for the others. So, you are English people, but I forget to talk in Italian video. If you want to learn erudition Portuguese, like my books, I have these two grammars, but only Portuguese, don't have translations for other language. When I explain the basic grammar that we learn on school here, the people forget. So syntax, morphology, and orthography. Verb conjugation seems to understand my conjugation because people forget if I don't know why people forget. So actually, KDP is the best option, most because of you on Australia, United Kingdom, United States. You don't get to worry about expanded distribution. Get your book to sell on your Amazon, like Brazil. Like Brazil, for paperback become here, expanded distribution has to sell it here. So they offer it, they have to choose to sell it here on Amazon Brazil. Some sellers sell a lot of higher price, but actually see there are sellers selling a higher price, the Amazon Brazil are selling at the right price, actually. So don't worry about that. Actually, most of my books are paperback on Amazon Brazil too, but not all. But in United States, United Kingdom, Australia, Spain, French are all paperback. And actually, when you buy on Brazil, they have a little time to 1 or 2 months to send the book because print in United States, United Kingdom, so they get to here. But actually, United States, you can get a lot. Actually, when I want to get my book faster, I buy direct from United States because the shipping to Brazil, I think, is $9 You think is high price of shipping, but if you look in Amazon Europe, 20 euros is very more high price. Né? So you can here in Brazil you can put more books on the cart, so the shipping is not for each book. You select all in all, you have a discount of shipping. It's very cool. And KDP, if you have to write, I suggest you to make a blogger or WordPress, Wix, or a blog. You can get the more views on the blog. You can share the link with the excerpt part. I forgot to tell that. You the blog, you have to put a video or paper unbox the paperback once they arrive your exemplar. Actually, you pay for your own exemplar. Like United States, United Kingdom, you pay only the printing cost and shipping, though Prime don't make shipping for free shipping for that. But actually, if you, for example, Prime United States getting free ship to Brazil doesn't work that way. Actually, you don't get free shipping on your country, but that's it. And go other time. And blogger, you have to put, I suggest you put the cover of the book, the links to Amazon that you want to people to buy. Actually, I start putting only Amazon as the language of the book, but actually I gotta put Amazon that I remember. So getting more easy task, you can open one Amazon and delete the .com, .com.uk, .com.br e já update to the other country site. The person I forget to tell for Italian people, I think all people who watch all the language video, I expect that. The author page is the main page. In the author page, you have to put your photo and biography in English, Spain, French, Italian, Portuguese, and German and Japanese. Japanese, I have to use the translator and put in Horomanji, the Watashi wa William, I think that's. I understand very, very, very nothing no Japanese. Watashi wa William, Natawadare, so simple that. So I have to use the translator. German, and I have to use all the translations to not get wrong. But Italian, French, Spanish, English, just you can use without translation. Actually, and Portuguese one is the best because they were not available at the time I started, and I put many things from my country because Amazon, you publish on Amazon, you focus on their other country, and standard distribution. I suggest to mark that. You will go to book depository sites to take a lot in many sites around the world. I think 4 sites selling my books. And actually, some of them sent to Brazil, some of them, others not. Others from the country, but I think Aladdin or Korea selling my books. About POD, print on demand. Your book was only printed when people buy it. Actually, the normal process or the editorial is print a lot of books and for reducing printing costs sent to the libraries. But Amazon no. Amazon print only one book for the one person that buy it. They only print if you buy, so you have to time to correct your book if some mistakes. To correct, só only update and checking lá, update the new file. You have to put two files, one for a book and other for paperback, because a book has the link to click to go to the capture, a paperback no. Actually, the pages, number of the pages are a little complicated, but you can choose to not put on the menu, because when I try to put it, they get it wrong, because Amazon on the terms can reformat your book. So if you don't want to Amazon reformat your book, put PDF, but PDF format, you have to check this thing here to not cut the letters. But if you let Amazon reformat your book, you don't get to worry about that. Only about blank page, in case I only explained that you have to remove page break the page. So I sorry because I don't participate in United Kingdom content or Amazon Storyteller, because the rules avoid on Brazil, ou seja, doesn't accept Brazilians. But if you want to support on my other storytellers, actually I have one book that has English that I don't show you the way. because I don't have my example yet. The Prince of the Staff of the Moon. The staff, I don't use staff like enterprise. I like staff. I use staff like the Moon Staff on Stargirl is a princess. I think the priestess of the Staff of the Moon. This story is in the Coleção Orações para Jesus, coletânea de orações para Jesus, in Portuguese, and I decide to put that translated in other language for other people to know. At the time of the book, the video, I didn't know that was translated, but I decided to translate it, If you want to support in my the other storytellers that I'm participating, I had a fantasy romance para além do universo for Brazil. There's a heavy romance of fiction. Actually, if you are writer, you can participate in all contests. You have to learn to understand the language. It doesn't have the limitation on the cultural pool. This book is for les proms francophones of France. If you are for Canada, actually you understand French. I forget the people Canada talk English because I what Ladybug, Quebec, I think they're South France, French, It's in French, collection de prières, l'Esprit Saint, 30 praise to Esprit Saint is in Les Plans Francophones Contest, Amaro Storyteller France. This one, Fantasia na História de Viagem Astral, is Prêmio Literário Amado Espanhol, ou seja, Amado Literário from Spain. Is a story about astral travel. When Laura lives in the Earth in year 30,037, I say the years this way because some people do 3037 I get confused because spelling. I talk with the planets, La Plumia. This book actually is fiction, but it's based on my dreams. Actually, most of my books is based on my dreams because I dream a little more because I remember the dreams that the other people. Mostly I remember talk to other dreams. I don't know what. Oh, but it's cool, man. Actually, I also, as I talk in the Italian, one thing the Italian. Actually, this in Amazon Storyteller Italia, Letra d'Amore Vero, ou letter, acho que eu think English is letter of true love. When I talk letters for my soulmate, I meet her in my dreams. I talk to her mostly in my dreams, but I didn't arrive on Earth yet. I think it's one of my friends from another planet that talk to me because I think they're another dimension. I don't know why, but I have 16 letters of true love for my soulmate. Actually, com a ajuda do nosso amigo Márcio, no céu da fantasia, compreendemos como evolare coisa. Se voi want to learn the language, I learn Italian with Rosetta Stone app. It's a very cool app if you want to repeat the words. If you learn by repeating the words. Or you can watch free content on HiPlay, just switch your VPN to Italian. You can watch Winks and send movies. I often put the link to RightPlay because it's free. On Netflix you have to pay, but RightPlay is free, so one to have to pay the VPN. Actually, when I made a video Avast Ultimate, when you buy Avast Ultimate, you get Avast VPN. So, actually, expanded distribution, I already talked. The bank account, you have to put the checking account, I recommend it, and the big as for receive international transfer. I don't know what taxes if you are from the United States or United Kingdom actually. And you have to check that for your country. And as you say, I am philosophy and spiritual writer. I write most on old philosophy, ancient philosophy, from most basically on Gnostic or Christian primitive, but I'm in reading the clavásicos or modern philosophy, so to know what they think, because actually it's good. And as you say, don't judge the people or the books by the country the author is from, because I live in Brazil, I don't talk Portuguese like Brazilian, but also don't talk Portuguese like European. I talk Portuguese like Brazilians talked and uh, 4 centuries ago, actually, because I read old books, actually. Well, actually, if you need Portuguese Brazilian is informal and Portuguese European is formal, is stereotyped because the version of Bible I react from Almeida we have here is way much formal than the Portugal version of the Bible. But most of my book, majority of books here as informal colloquial. Actually, you have to check the author yourself, but don't judge the author for the country. Actually, most people try to communicate with me or private. They try to talk in Brazil colloquial Portuguese. I have to say to them that I understand their language because one person tried to talk for me from Italian and translate with Google Translate the Italian. And I translate what I understand to Italian to it. So they don't wish with me because if I publish books in English, Italian, French, Spanish, and Portuguese, it doesn't have name of translator, and because I am the translator, so I understand this language. It's obvious. It's better to talk in the language, their language. If you don't understand my language, it's better to talk the language. It actually, as I grow up and isolate, studying, reading books, and don't get many contacts with people, I don't appreciate the colloquial version or Brazilian Portuguese. I only appreciate the formal version. And actually, because then I prefer to use formal pronouns to and was. And as I talk about, my blog is innerdivineconnection.blogspot.com. You can send friend me requests on vk.com slash William W39 and W39. Actually, I put on my first books, but people doesn't add me. I don't know why, because it's a Russian network, but I think it is really many functions that Facebook doesn't have. It is really less censored, I think. And you can send a request to my Instagram. It's private because I have to have control for people to subscribe. I often accept almost anyone because I don't have nothing to hide there. I don't publish my personal things like other people. I publish about my job. Actually, my channel YouTube started in 2012 with book videos made with songs and pictures. As first video, Rosanna, I use Visual DJ to change the music to more beautiful voice and put the comments. And Say It Again from Smallville, I think is 7th season actually at that time. And recently I put You Are My Love from Tsubasa Chronicles that I made the video at the time of the other ones, but I forgot to publish. I published them because they are really cool, man. I have the project Aprende Idiomas com Música, they will be translated learn language with songs. When I put a song on my DVD and stop and translate other one. It's designed for people who learn Portuguese. But actually, I have the types to learning language. When I don't translate anything, I try to explain without translating. It has English version and Spanish one. Spanish, I think I use the song Dejaria Todo porque te quedaras, né? In English, I think I use Because of You in other songs, for songs without translating. It's best to learn without translating because your brain will do the translation. Actually, because you learn to think like you are in the other country, the country language. Because if you translate, you get this thing about translation or the meaning instead of literal translation. Actually, walk in your shoes em português is mean caminhando em teus sapatos, literal translation, e colocar no lugar do outro, meaning translation, that put in the place of the other. actually I prefer use literal translation because it's actually if it's wrong for some people, you don't get the problem to translate all the literal sense with metaphoric sense. If you translate literal sense, even metaphorical one, you can understand if you think like you are from the other country. So, my blog in the Divine Connect on blogspot.com, you can find my LinkedIn, William Menezes Freitas. I publish with my name. I don't like to use like say, artistic name. I like to put my name here because I make clear this I and this the writer, so I don't get what. The books I like to read. I like to read beautiful creatures. I have all the 4 books. I have some other foreign books. I have in Brazilian, Brazilian Portuguese. I have Lusíadas. I have Roberto Holden books. Some of them, a few. No all. And I have actually High School Musical, Nini Enrique. I like this new High School Musical a lot. I buy a book. I have all 4 Shira books. I have Julian DeFanto's book in English, of course, English. And I have Sonic the Hedgehog book in English, actually. I like this kind of books. I have Tango and Frozen books. And actually, I like to read this kind of one. How I learned to type on the word. Actually, I learned word when my university, I think this bachelor or law, they have to do the monography, né? I have to learn because I formatted my own monography because I think it is best. And I had to buy actually my professor teach many things, but I bought a book for a Word 2010 at the time, né? That I have. Yeah, I still use it because I liked it. Plain and simple. It's plain, simple, it's plain. Everything plain, simple. But if you advance use it, you can use step by step. For my use, plain, simple is best. So, as you know, my English doesn't have accent from United States, doesn't have accent from British. But actually, I can understand clearly if you talk without accent. But if you talk without accent, I just have to ask to repeat it because the accent or pronunciation get mistake with other words, I think. But I like very much Smallville, man. For I learned English with them, Sophia the First, name. But I don't like to watch English dub animes. I like to watch in the original language, like Wings in Italian, Miracles in French. Actually, I learned French because of Miracles, because I don't like the dubbed version in English or any other language, and they stopped to switch subbing them. And Flowing Heart, I just watching Korean because Stolen Prince I watching Ukrainian English subtitles, but the English subtitles is not direct translation from Ukrainian, is the English version. I have some. The music do Zero to the stars, they translated was shouted out because they didn't so doesn't get wrong. And Snow Queen, I watched all 4 movies. I like Gerda very much. I like having Flora Littiman, they make Disney Corgin in German. I understand a few for this German, a few, but for children movies like Hexilid, I can understand we German subtitles, but only children movies. And actually, I talk about many things about KDP, and so about me. Actually, for United States one, from United Kingdom one, and Australia one, the people English countries is the best. Amazon KDP is the best. For people in my country, Brazil, you have to think what your goal. If your goal is the outside Brazil, like Portugal, Spain, United States, Amazon is the best. But if you want to choose the Brazilian people to choose our country, you think you have to work more with ebooks, electronic digital, because of the limitations of paperbacks, send 2 months to send the stipend distribution, or choose another provider like Clube de Autores. But I think Clube de Autores doesn't work for me because only send for Brazil, the cost is more high than cost of production. this one. And why I don't use editors at the time? Because the editors you don't have control or anything. They make over, they correct the spelling, they make anything. I think they don't let you do all the things. They have professionals to do the things. I like to do all the things because the book is mine. I don't like to trust him. But I think in the future maybe I should invest in publishing editor because here in Brazil my books are not so good seller because all the problems is. The other thing that I didn't talk on Italian video is uh, uh, the KDP Select. You have to put into landing from Prime members, and actually you have to Kindle Unlimited. Kindle Unlimited here in Brazil we pay less than 10 reais and you can read anything because all writers they publish only on Amazon Mercado Select will get around 1 cent per page or 1 cent for 2 pages, but the 1 cent is the 1 cent of the currency of the country. Also, by the way, 1 cent or euro, 1 cent of United States dollar, 1 cent of Brazilian real, actually. And I estimating because all month has the fund, KDP fund, and the KDP fund is changing every month and they divide. Actually, the cost you can now then royal estimator, you can get your see orders, see from country is, see how many pages read. For English person I use English interface because it's the best, but when I call Amazon I switch to Brazil Portuguese because the accent of English I have a little problem. And actually because as I'm Brazilian writer and I live in Brazil, the Brazilian support is the best to solve my problem because I sometimes on United States support and they don't get what I was talking because as the other limitation, the limitation of the expanded distribution, they don't understand at all. But the person who attends the Brazilians, they're more structured about that because you attended us. Excellent. So if you, I don't know if you like my English, but it's better than my Italian actually because I speak more freely. But my Italian actually is good when writing. Actually, I translate my books. English is the best. I translate word by word the book, The Golden Forest from Portuguese. I just translate the first using the computer. The second one I put on my Kindle file, the file PDF, and translate on my notebook. We are write with pen, no notebook laptop. Notebook they write with pen. They're very confused. And depois I just type them. I take more time to translate English because I translate carrying. If some words has and parents the other word because I don't be sure how to choose the word. I put the two words so people don't get confused when I choose. It's the best time the way. Some expression like the car or John instead of John's car is because it's more easy to understand. Actually, it do. As I am Brazilian, I try to make the more books in English more clear to Brazilian Brazilian readers understand. Actually, more clear and actually more clear for anyone. So I don't have the colloquial expression from United States because I watch cartoons and superhero series. They don't have much expressions or colloquial United States. Actually, I don't have many expressions of reading English. So actually, because Harry Potter and the other things that I read and watch and read English is made for international public. They don't translate Harry Potter into United States English. They don't translate Sophia the Fourth Small into British English. So they have to do in a way that can anyone should watch. It's the best because don't have some accent. You can understand clearly here in Brazil if you learn English and you can reach. So I don't have this colloquial, but I try to do I am B2 only, high intermediate, I don't know. I am not proficient. So actually, you can check my certification there on LinkedIn. Actually, I try to make a book that I could understand. Actually, I could understand. Since I high intermediate B2, I don't understand expressions, colloquial expressions. Yes, proficient, they understand. So actually, I try to make a book that I could understand. Actually, if I some people once they translate, they get word they really don't understand it published. I don't work by that because when I publish a book, I make sure that I can understand what I publish. Even if it is some language like French, I get help or dictionary, Le Petit Robert, the conjugation. I just buy le a table conjugation, conjugation pocket. I don't remember the name to check the conjugation, so French. And actually, I sometimes I use a translator to check some word in Portuguese to make the French, so get the order correct. So if you use the translation, you get a lot more work than you translate word by word. That's one more difficult, but not mais evil fast. But English I don't recommend. The French, you get the translation, you get the orthography right, but you don't get the test right. You have to look at each conjugation and change it. Like, for example, I use puedes and they translate for vous êtes, vós sois. You have to correct puedes. Actually, this time the translator get a lot more work for you to do this your translator. But some word that you don't know how spelling because French, Italian, and Portuguese and Spanish is similar. If you don't get the, the spelling wrong, but actually words used by that. If you can know as spelling without many letters wrong, the spelling correct or word will do the job. You don't have to do the translate for the job. Actually, Google Translate, I don't like it. I don't use it. It's the worst. I think that you can use, but I think it's the worst. There are many others best, but actually nothing is the best. You translate yourself without it. So I just talk, just explain something. Author Central is good. In Author Center, you get to know. You can add your books. Add your books to Author Center. You can see your books and you from add book. You search your book and add this book. It's like called claim the book. You go to the Author Center. That's you can see the salaries rank for each country. Each country no, because I think Brazil has. Didn't have one when I started, but now has. It has France, France, Spain. I don't think Spain has. I think United States, United Kingdom, Brazil, France. I have. Yes, the other I don't remember. We have, and you can see your books and by date of publication, by most viewed in the author. You can check what book is more viewed. You can see United States which state sell your book on the United States. I don't try it yet. And many other things in Author Center. And Author Center started in Amazon.com and Amazon.com.uk at the time. I don't know if the other, but you can log in there. Explain. You can change the language to Portuguese, Spanish, Italian if you don't learn English. But after, if you're watching this video, I think you understand English. It's best English because English is original. Have robot translation text. Actually, robot translation is not so. It's not so bad because I watch Bakugan and in Japanese we have robot translation from YouTube because they don't sub that because it is released in English first. They don't sub the Japanese one. Actually, Bakugan Dragon Rising I watching them, and if you know, Bakugan Dragon Rising is on Fridays on Japanese YouTube Bakugan channel. Actually, as I say, my blog, my videos, and my books are in the most common language: English, Spanish, French, Italian, Portuguese. That's the this language. Actually, I made this video separately because the video conhece o escritor William Menezes Freitas. I talk the 5 languages in one video, and the people get confused because people doesn't understand all 5 languages. And they ask me to do separate videos for each language. It's the best for them. I can watch more videos and can talk more freely without confusion. That. So, I'm William Menezes Freitas, a Brazilian writer, most on philosophy, spirituality. Most of my books I try to teach spiritual values, even the fantasy ones, and I have most collection of praise. Now I have coleção de orações a Santa Bárbara, collection of praise, or Saint Barbara. I don't remember if I put English translation or not, but I pretty sure they have Portuguese, Italian, French, and Spanish. I don't remember them. Because I don't translate all to anyone because the language because if I understand all of them, I think people understand more than one language because I here we study English and Spanish as second and third language and actually can learn any others here. So I in the author collection of Praise Sophia the Gods, I think is the only one in the world. I have 5 books because one for each language. I published that because I like the story of Sophia the Goddess and I miss a collection. I don't find anyone collection place for her. And actually most of my books is about that. I try to write things that other authors didn't write it yet. So I get more views because the people will have less options and actually get more when you start. You can write books and the people only have get many more authors with more name on the market if you are more professional or if you starting already a years or if you have an editor or if you have to pay the advertising. But since I do my advertising on Facebook groups and Facebook pages, most of them I do my advertising on my Instagram William Freitas William Freitas 4452 4452 4452 William Freitas 4452 português. Actually, it's private, but I accept people only for private more control. Actually, comments I talk in Italian. You can choose to lock the comments, so no one comments. You can choose to moderate the comments, so once comment you get your email you have to approve it or not, or you get to freely comment, so we approve it. Actually, I explained that. If you choose to close the comments, most readers will talk to you in private on VK, that just I leave it just for that, in Instagram, and actually some on Facebook, yeah. And you have to reply them private, so in order to the readers know that you care for them. It's the best, I think, because you don't get haters and actually you don't get people who comment something we don't have anything related to the content. Like once I the left open for moderation, some people who sell clothes for army. If title say clothes or army, if it doesn't have any at all, because army is not from spiritual and inner divine, don't have anything at all. So I locked it up. So in the blog, each post you have two options to allow comments or not and lock the post. You have to choose for that. I use Blogger, as I say, because I studied informatics and tech on IFCE in 2012. And Blogger was used when they was teaching to me at the time. But you can use WordPress, Wix, it has more function, but I like to use what I know. Actually, this video is really long, but it's cool a little. So, if you want to read my books, it's really different from other Brazilian authors. I write on theosophy. Theosophy, you know, as the all religions and philosophy has the common roots, so I try to do. My story I try to do by teaching you how to pray, explaining what you need to know how to make your own prayers, and actually I create stories that I use history, stories, because for me they are real. But actually, because most of these history books are fake for people who want to to educate the people. So if I believe my story real, I put history, not story. So you can perceive in my book when I talk a story that's not real, that I don't believe it's real, that I fake it, like the Sala do Trono in Para Além do Universo. They make a lot of fake stories to people get scared and don't enter that. So I put stories without stories, histories, and that, basically. So, actually, uh, theosophy in spirituality, most of Brazilian authors is different from me. I try to speculate things, create universe for people to think about themselves and what they're doing for this universe. So, the fictional universe is a way to show the people what they are doing on the real universe. So it's like a myth, a parable, or something to meditate. And actually, the Romance ones actually is about that. I think it's Romance, but also philosophy, because the spiritual values, the heroes, or them, they soulmates, they do some same, they don't have to do, for example, like a god or like a saint people, and to explain for you to be a better person, actually. So actually, letra amor vero, the letter of true love, is true love. It's not love passion. It's love that like Christ has for us. Give your life. This kind of love. I don't believe this kind of love. The other love I don't believe. Uh, Actually, wow, I just explained this, and actually, these two books, they are marked Portuguese, but this book actually is on Portuguese. I have description, but a priest asked on Facebook, "What is Jesus?" Like the gospel, I replied that. By replying that, I make an explanation from Catholic, from Essenian, from Taoist, from Gnostic. I explain every for many religions that I study. It has 10 prayers in Portuguese, but the 11 prayer is in Italian, actually 2 prayers in Italian, 3 prayers in English. The prayers in English is translating all the Portuguese play, but the Italian ones are not in Portuguese, actually. And 2 prayers in Spanish, and 2 prayers in French, and 1 prayer in German. When I wrote on my notebook, instead of do bis for me, I write doar for me, because I confuse with all the English. But I actually corrected on the book. It is Sacerdote do Cajado de Lua, the priest of the staff of the moon. The story I translate for the other languages, actually. And this one is maybe a Português, actually. When I explain, fácil tu mesmo, guia para ação de prece consciente, will be do yourself, né? Ou do da self, né? Guide to create prayers in a constant way, ou seja, you meditate. I explain in Portuguese how to create step by step the prayers, and I put the prayers on my blog. They are in the blog. Actually, the blog has prayers in other languages, so a preghiera alla Dea Barbara in italiano qui, here explained that, Cate pray, e reformulating prayers, the Our Father here in Portuguese is translated wrong. I correct that. If people we don't have, I poke these same things they don't want, actually. Prayer is the best. You can pray, you can free your soul, you can aqui in the plains, you can live a better life if you like to pray all the time. Pray the best thing you can do to live in peace, to have a good life is like to pray. Praise God. And I had the topic, orações em outras línguas. When I explain here English, their God is in English. Dear Jesus, you are my son, you are my light. A do version, and I have the same prayer in you version. Dear Jesus, you are my son. Actually, to explain that. And I have one prayer here on French, in Spanish, in Italian, and I explain that. But most of the book is Portuguese, if you want to get. Yeah. And other thing, this in Portuguese, I make this little book, the poems for Contes Otâmeras that I lost actually. I put this book is little book from poems about street and libertation. Actually, it's the only one that I put this this tamanho, né? This side. The others are all in this tamanho. Actually, in KDP, you can choose the format, actually. You can choose the color of pages. The color pages, no, the green pages or the blank pages. Actually, it changed. Well, I think I explained many things. The video is way more minutes than the Italian one. So, thanks for watching. And you can subscribe here if you like more videos. Oh, actually, you can subscribe at all because you can just search the video on YouTube without subscribe. But if you prefer subscribe, doesn't matter much for me because most of my videos I think doesn't have ads because I don't like ads. I don't have ads on my blog. Forget that in Italian because I hate these ads because they make computer slow. They get computer too long. Yeah. And YouTube partner I don't have, but some of my videos or the music has copyright content and they allow me to use it if you put ads and the money whatever to the owners. So this one has a little ads in a few parts of the one. So resuming, KDP is the best option for you guys to know English. For me too is the best option. Spanish distribution, you can go to many online bookstores around the world and they say they send to schools. I don't have contacts. I don't know what school they send, but I found 40 online bookstores that sell my books around the world on Spanish distribution. Spanish distribution we have 40% minus the 2.15 United States dollars. If for more the same page, it is pretty close. We'll calculate it by the number of pages. And if you sell in Amazon.com, you get 60% minus the pretty cost. And the book, I don't know in what state, but here in Brazil I can 70%. You cannot select. In many other Amazon, some books some counts are 35%. But it's cool. Anyway, you don't have to pay anything. You earn in them. So very good. If the KDP is independent writer, you can do all the things. You can do the cover, do the revision, do the translation, formatting the book, writing, and if you don't want to do the advertise by yourself on Facebook groups like I do, you can pay Amazon to advertise your book on the Kindle. But I like to do myself because it's very fun doing all by yourself. And you have to put. I recommend this checking account, but if you only have saving account, I think they accept it. But I recommend checking account. And actually, do a blog page. Doesn't matter if you blog WordPress or Wix, you can do a blog page. In the page, you can divulge yourself as author. You can put abstract of the books. The Kindle terms allow you to put a small parts of the books, smaller parts, so people get attention. You pay attention to the description. The description of my books are not formatted well in the paperback because at the time they don't have the option of this. They format only a book and they just format on paperback, but now they have the option. So the recent, I don't know. It's cool to get a LinkedIn profile and LinkedIn professional network on you put your publication, put your certifications, you put your coefficient score on the heavy study. It's a really cool one. Actually, you can do Instagram and advertise with stories, get pools, and in VK, you have to invest in VK because in Russia, Ukraine, Facebook is not popular. VK is popular. VK has as most similar to Facebook, but have more functions and less censored, And you can advertise on Pinterest yourself, post Pinterest. I don't use very much because I'm learning still. Twitter is good and Facebook is way better if you enter the group for independent authors to learn other independent authors, know other authors, and advertise your book for free there in the groups. Actually, advertise a book in an independent author books is like selling a law book to law students. Actually, it is really cool. And in the blog, you put the cover of the book, and you can select a copy, mais link, and put that, and put the links from Amazon, so you're selling. You can put the description there, and put the excerpt. And if you like to make an unbox of the ebook, I just started for the book of the Brazilian contest. You can put the video on YouTube channel and add the video embed on the blog. Just remember to put the link to YouTube below, because when you open Blogger on mobile phone, they don't show the video embed. I didn't know that because I was computing that actually, but people are like that. And actually, I já talk about comments. You choose you left open or you left if close. It's your choice. And the blogger is very cool to use, very simple. And I like to do unbox of paperback, showing the paperback, explain them, or you can show us. I do recommendations of songs, series, animes, and movies that awaken inner divine, because my blog Conexão com o Nível Interior, connection with inner divine, ou seja, I try to awaken inner divine that is common. I preach the divine, God, the inner divine is within everyone, doesn't need religion, doesn't need anything, just your spirituality, and you can be more free, get a little more life. Most of my books, I want to try to achieve the goal of the books. Most of the book I write by myself to inspire when in moments of need. So you have to choose your focus. My focus is philosophy, spirituality, and erudition, and actually and fantasy. They call high fantasy where they create a world, and in the other way, a more anime style with erudition and saint people. And people I call my characters my gods. Gods seen because they are my example of life. I create characters in order to be my example of life. Actually, God is an example of life. I still God as example of life, not as God Almighty, but my example to be a good person. Is synonym of saint appear actually. So 1 hour already talking English, so I want to I'll stop there now. And if you get more information, I still this is my second video. The first one is Italian, this is English. I understand more 3 languages. I think I more 3 videos: French, Spanish, and Portuguese. My French is not so cool, so I think it will be worse than my Italian. But if you understand, I can talk. I think the people will understand, even if I stop. And in the Divine Connect on blogspot.com, William Freitas 44452 Instagram, and vk.com William W39 the contact, and William Menezes Freitas, just search on Amazon. You can search on Google anyway, and you can search on Book Depository and many other online booksellers. And my YouTube channel, how to locate it easily. You search William W39. you get Shana photo from Kashuga no Shana because 2020 to 2012 I was watching Shakuga no Shana finally. I loved the anime at the time. Shana, Rekate, and Sakayuji, I like it very much. And thanks for watching. If you want to subscribe, you can subscribe. If you don't want to subscribe, it doesn't matter at all. And thanks for watching. I am I'm really glad that you're watching this video, supporting my work, reading my books, and reading my blog. I have more than 5,000 readers on the blog since I started on December 2020 and last month last year. And the books I started 28 of November 2020. So thanks for watching and